it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet.
My name is CJ Benjamin. CJ Benjamin.
Showtime. Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. Shona, I'm wearing Cuban links, designer mix, Inglewood's finest shoes. Don't look too hard, might hurt yourself. Known to give the color red, the blue.
Always in the mood to make it right. Mondays to Thursdays, 3 to 4 p.m. Only on MegaZone Bollywood. My name is CJ Benjamin.
Oh my God.
Always in the mood to make it right. CJ Benjamin.
Too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Say my name, you know who I am.
CJ Benjamin.
Okay, ladies, now let's get information. Well, it's just about 2 minutes past 3. Good afternoon and welcome to MegaZone Bollywood. This is Crossfire and my name is CJ Benjamin. With you until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Let me recap on yesterday's program. To say I was frustrated yesterday is an understatement. I apologize sincerely for all the technical glitches. It's really uncomfortable for me as the host, but we can't avoid these things. It's just technology and we have to try and adapt. It was the most important show for me because I was covering the story of the 9-year-old who has claimed that her father has been raping her. And of course we had Brandon Play, our Crossfire correspondent, who was in court yesterday as the dad had his first court appearance. It has been remanded for his bail application, and of course we'll find out all of those details and keep you updated. But just a recap for those of you who missed the show. Very importantly, the child has claimed that the father had raped her vaginally and anally, and she shared this with an educator whom we applaud as a society because she's the one that could have saved this child's life ultimately. So we're really proud of that. And we also heard, quite devastatingly so, that the mum is in support of her husband and has claimed that her 9-year-old has made up all of these stories. And I have my own opinions on this, of course, and this is my view on it. A 9-year-old should not be able to describe semen as she did, nor should she understand sexual intercourse in the manner in which she has described it. And she described it in a childish fashion, but she shouldn't have to know these things. And it's really painful for me that the parent, the mum, has not supported her in this. It's painful because both parents have failed her in this instance. However, I believe she's in a safe place. I'm grateful that at the age of 9 she's been rescued from her torment, and we can only hope that she's now going to be on the path of recovery, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. As a society, I want to then recommend that we get behind this child, especially for that first court appearance or the second court appearance, the bail application. Of course, the state is opposing bail, or requesting that bail be withheld and not allowed in this case, and I agree with that completely. I believe bail should be opposed and he should spend his time in prison awaiting his trial. I think as a community, let's get behind her, let's give her a voice more importantly, and let's ensure that justice prevails. So I urge you to make yourself available for that court appearance. I certainly will be there alongside Brandon Pillay, who leads our community on this matter. Getting straight into Crossfire today, I've covered bullying, and I'm quite passionate about the subject of bullying only because of the severe trauma that children experience. Most times, children don't report bullying. They don't share it with their parents out of fear of ridicule, fear of not being believed, or just sheer embarrassment. They won't go off and talk to their mom or dad about it, and it's painful because the bullying can last many years, and it has scarring effects. It is quite damaging, as you know. And we chatted with a young man a few weeks ago who shared his personal account of bullying, and he experienced bullying in school and he experienced cyberbullying. For your benefit, cyberbullying is, for an example, creating a Facebook group that torments and alienates and insults a person, and this was done in the case of this particular youngster. And it's really awful, and I've wanted to talk about this to a great extent. Since that program, I've been contacted by many organizations who are doing incredible work in creating awareness about bullying. They have Stop Bullying projects, and I've been very passionate about giving them a platform to discuss what they do, to share their great work with us, because there's got to be a positive side to what's going on. And I want to be a part of the solution, as I imagine you would. It's not only about Crossfire uncovering stories as they break, but it's also about offering solutions to you. And on the program today, I hope to offer a solution or a alternative approach via the campaigns that have been embarked upon. So as a school, you may want to listen in as educators and principals, as corporates that listen to the programs, as NGOs and NPOs that want to come on board. This is a show for you to pay attention to. We all have a role to play, don't we? Especially where it concerns the bullying of our children. And these campaigns need our support, and I hope that you will get on board with it. First up on the program, I have a wonderful young woman named Shona Joseph, who joins us in the studio for an hour, and she's the PRO for Rainbow Nation Media House, and they've embarked on a fantastic bullying campaign, and she's going to share that with us. But just so you understand the context for this program, I read an article about a youngster who was bullied, and the bully inserted a stick into his anus. And the mom, of course, is horrified by it, wants to press charges, and she will continue down that road. Can you imagine for a minute with me a child inserting a stick into another child's anus? Over and above the physical pain, the embarrassment and the shame of this experience, one has to wonder, what possesses a child to embark on such a violent act in the first instance? What's going on? So that's the background to today's show, and we're going to talk more about that incident in just a short while. But for now, I'd like you to listen to Shona, who talks about the campaign they've embarked on, and let's find out how we can support this cause. Shona, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, CJ, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
Fantastic to have you in studio. Shona, first tell us a little bit about Rainbow Nation Media House.
Okay, Rainbow Nation Media House is established in 2014. It's a media house. We deal with web design, corporate identity, creative graphic design, going more digital media, as well as public relations, fundraising, and events. Okay.
So, your Stop Bullying campaign, and I'm very excited about it. Can I just, for the benefit of all our Facebook Live viewers, this is the publication, the Stop Bullying publication that Rainbow Nation Media House have published. Talk to us about what brought on this idea of getting involved with the bullying campaign or Stop Bullying campaign.
In October 2016, being International Stop Bullying Month, we at Stop Bullying decided to take action and begin a campaign that will enable us to spread the word about how passionate we are to stamp out bullying, any type of bullying. So in October the same month, we launched our first free publication in the Empangeni and Richards Bay area, where we had many corporates come on board with us. In doing that, we were proudly able to give away over 20,000 of these copies to various schools. And in this supplement that we've put together, we've got necessary tools that will help pupils, teachers, and parents on this bullying and how they can move forward from it and help each other.
Well, interesting, because I had a look at this publication just for your benefit as an audience. It is incredibly informative, and we were chatting off air. I don't think there's enough information available. Do you agree?
Yes, it's ongoing. There's so much more we can do to help this campaign.
How is it decided what material makes this publication in terms of its content? Because I see, and just for our listeners, it covers the types of bullying, physical bullying, verbal, indirect, social alienation, intimidation, cyberbullying that we referenced just a short while away. It also has, little blurbs to talk about what to do if bullies have taken your friends away, and I think that's so important. Who is involved in the content?
In the content, putting together this publication, our CEO is mainly our driving force, and we've got a team in the public relations department, and then we've also sourced out some counselors that help us, social workers, psychologists that bring on the input to put into this supplement.
And you had
professional help is
good, and you had support from corporates, because obviously this needed to be funded.
So 5 months into the campaign right now, CJ, and we want to bring this to the Durban area.
Yeah.
And in order to do this, and for this to be a sustainable and ongoing program, we need the help from our corporates, so our schools can have the necessary tools.
You've worked in the Richards Bay and Empangeni area.
Yes.
Do you believe this has had an impact?
Major impact, very much.
And especially getting this into the hands of learners. You say 20,000.
Over 20,000 copies were distributed to various schools, and we've had competitions running, and children participated with posters, and they voiced out in examples of drawing pictures and so forth of how they've been bullied. And
Tell us about that, because I'm curious, and I'll tell you why. As you may know, that when children are abused or children experience any sort of trauma, we always, when I say we, I mean when they're consulted with by psychologists and psychiatrists, they often allow them to draw.
Yes.
And by their drawing, they would reference.
It speaks out. Art is their way of, it's their
Communication,
voice.
yeah.
Yes. So one of our sponsors donated 2 bikes to give away, and we had this competition running where we invited kids to draw posters. And feedback from that was phenomenal. And kids were delighted, and we've had our winner, and it's something that's going to be ongoing, and we want to continue in Durban with the same idea.
What do they draw? Do they actually draw about the bullying?
They drew pictures, yes, of that aspect.
It's
yeah.
interesting if you right now listening want to ask your child to draw a bully for them. It could give you insight into what's happening in their lives and their school life. It's now 11 minutes past 3. Good afternoon. Welcome to Crossfire. Hello to all our Facebook live streaming viewers. We stream live on my page. Search for me, CJ Benjamin. You'll find me, click on follow, and you'll have access to all of my content. On the program today, a child was bullied and a stick inserted into his anus, and I thought it's very important to rehash the subject of bullying because it's really at its extreme at the moment. And in a short while, we'll be speaking to Beverly, and Beverly joins us from a fantastic organization in Cape Town. She'll be on the program, and she's going to share with me exactly what's happening in and around the Cape Town area, and it's called Chauncey's Epic Anti-Bullying Club. I want to know all about them, what they do, because they're in schools, they're delivering talks, they're trying to empower children, because if you're being bullied, you really need to talk to someone. Talk to someone you trust. If you're listening to the program right now and you're feeling a bit fearful, write to someone you trust if you don't want to have a conversation. Send a message. Let somebody know that someone is bullying you to some degree, and you will get the help that you deserve. What I'd like you as listeners to understand is that children are being bullied every day and they don't talk about it. They're not empowered, in my opinion, from what I've read and researched and the experience I've had with schools, and I've dealt with 36,000 learners a month at schools. They're not empowered to speak up, and they're not empowered to share what's going on. So they almost deal with this very secretly every day, carrying it around like a heavy backpack. And no one seems to understand why a child seems to be very different around you and their personality somewhat has changed. It could be that there's a degree of bullying in their life and you need to interfere or step in. For example, if you have a child who loves school that suddenly doesn't want to go to school anymore, I bet you need to investigate that and find out what may be going on. The campaign that we're talking about on the show today is a Stop Bullying campaign that the Rainbow Nation Media House has embarked on. And we have Shona Joseph, the PRO, in studio today talking to us about this great initiative. In fact, Shona, I think more corporates need to get on board.
Yes, absolutely, CJ.
And support this and lend your voice and your name to worthy campaigns. What is your hope for Durban?
Well, for making this a big success, I mean, it's with corporate sponsors. It enriches a company's involvement with children and families and the social issues that they deal with. And because we really need the help of the corporations, and corporations are the ones that make these things happen. And if they show an interest, community at large can see it, parents can see it, and we can help solve this issue and stamp it out.
What is your target in terms of how many copies you'd like to ideally get out in Durban?
Oh, over 100,000. We want to target all schools in Durban.
So
and we want to take this nationwide.
Nationwide. So the idea then is to get some corporate funding, get some corporates on board to sponsor, print many of these publications, make sure that learners get them in schools.
Yes.
And the idea then is to empower them via the information?
Yes. And also do school roadshows where we go to the schools personally. We address the pupils at an assembly. We take along our mascot with us and some of our PR team and social workers to help our kids.
Let me say this, and I've hosted talks at schools, thousands of schools across the country, empowerment talks. It is very effective to get in front of learners and to engage and to relate and to connect with them, especially around these issues, and to give them the information in a somewhat entertaining fashion, because they're children at the end of the day, aren't they?
Yes.
And so is that the idea?
Yes, that is the idea. And also to help our teachers. Our educators are the first one on board with this issue. And if we can help them provide the tools for this, we can surely make a change.
It's quite interesting you mention educators because, and I'm just going to reference yesterday's program as well, I've been speaking about the role of the educator very often on this program, and the reason for that is because the educator spends a large amount of time with our children, don't they?
Yes, they do.
And yesterday we had a fantastic educator who blew the whistle on a child's rape. But I always wonder, are educators equipped to handle it? In the instance of bullying, when a child says someone has inserted a stick up my anus, does a teacher know how to handle it? And I think it's good what you guys are doing, because I do agree that educators need the tools as well.
Yes, they do. And we can help this if we get all our corporates on board with us.
What is your wish for all our corporates listening in?
My wish for our corporates is, I think for me personally, the main thing is when you ask for a sponsorship for corporates to come on board, we need to tell them where their money is going, what we're using their money for. And if we can show them that, and I know that we will get the support, so...
Well, I certainly hope you get the support from the corporate sector, and I hope they help you in reaching as many of our kids as we possibly can. I've personally read the publication, and it's very important that it reaches every single child in the country. It shouldn't have a number on it. Bianca Priaci says, as an educator that associates with learners... Sorry, Nazmira, as an educator that associates with the learners constantly, this is an amazing initiative. Well done to the team behind it. Bianca Priaci says, I think parents' daily involvement in their kids' lives is vital now more than ever. For your guest, will you accept any individual financial help?
Yes, we will.
All right. Well, all details will be provided to you for anyone who wants to get on board to support this initiative. It's a Stop Bullying campaign. If you are passionate about it and you want to help and support the team at Rainbow Nation Media House, we'll give you all the details at the end of the program to get in touch with them. But the show today is centered on bullying and how